It is the Crucible of Motorsports. 350 laps around a 2.0 mile oval. Under the Southern California sky. Under the lights, all eyes on you. These 42 warriors are fighting life and death, all for one moment of glory, all for one trophy that they can call their own, to write their names in the history books as a winner of this great race. This race is more than just a race. It is a story spanning 700 miles. 700 miles of endurance, aggression, and temper. All so that one of these 42 drivers can come across that red, white, and blue start-finish line. One lap around this track seems like an eternity. 350 laps around this track seems like a lifetime. This will be the longest 4 hours that any of these drivers will experience in their careers. All for the glory and honor that it takes to win this race. These 42 drivers all know, or will soon know, let's just say, what it is to become one of the legends that have taken place in this race.
It is the American 700, the Crucible of Motorsport. Welcome to the American 700 night. This is it. 350 laps around this 2.0 mile oval here in Southern Fontana, California. And we will bring it to you here. A big, big crowd for tonight's race. Perfect weather, unlike last season. And where the race had to be split between 2 days due to weather. Perfect weather. We're going to get all 350 laps in tonight. 42 drivers, all with a chance to win this race. And now it's time to go on to the big headlines going into this race. The first of which, and the most controversial, has been the ride-buying scandal. Yes, there has been some ride-buying today, and now we are going to use our new drone to see what's going on. Here is Chris Dodd, Trek Tauger, Jake Baskinger, DJ Curtis, and Jacob Hart. All 5 of these drivers have bought their way into the field. Jacob Hart bought Zeb Stark's car. Jake Baskinger bought the McLaren of Eddie Shimpadkar's ride. DJ Curtis bought Tommy Turbo's ride, or the Red Bull Brigade did. Chris Dodd went into his teammate's car. That's JaVale McGee. And Trek Tauger bought out Max Tender's ride to get on the grid. So, with ride buying there, these cars all did not qualify for the race. Arguably, Baskinger probably should have, so he's one exception, I think. DJ Curtis has been slow all weekend. Hopefully he won't be that slow in the race today. And Dodd was quick, actually, and Tauger, he's been way off the pace all weekend, so not sure why he's there, but ARCSOA allowed that to happen. Allowed these 5 drivers to buy their way into the field. Let's go up to Nick Percules now, who made a thrilling pass in the last chance qualifier to get into the race. Nick Percules now, he did an awesome job in the last chance qualifier. The last chance he had to make the race, Nick Percules did. And boy, did he do it in a thrilling manner. Waiting for the last second in a very, very American 700 finish kind of way. It's great to see Percules on the grid, and I think we can see Percules possibly fighting for victory lane today. Up in one position farther, you've got Alex Allen. Alex Allen was the other driver in the last chance qualifier that made a thrilling move into the race after Chris Dodd, who initially didn't qualify, got held up by the lapped car of Allie Ferguson. Allie Ferguson. One of them. I saw, it wasn't Allie Ferguson, it was Dale Hank Jr. and one of the other cars back there. I want to say it was Zeke Ferguson. And Alex Allen realized that Dodd was being held up. Dodd thought he had more space than what he did. Back to second position, so he was just going to take a very cautious approach there. Alex Allen and the pack pounced on it, and Allen flew around Dodd to take the victory in the last chance qualifier. Dodd, like I said, did replace out JaVale McGee in the Action Terra Brigade. However, we will see about that, if that will take place there. On his outside, Alex Allen's outside, we have Sean Perkins, the former two-time winner of this race. He's going to be coming from the back to win this race, but in 350 miles, it's definitely a possibility that Sean Perkins can make this race very, very interesting from back here in the 360 car. That car's been fast in the one-off races in the past, and Perkins has been spectacular in one-off races in the past. Horizon Group didn't show up this year, at least for this racer. Might show up for Indianapolis, I'm not sure about that, but I digress. It will be a very, very good weekend, I think, for Perkins. The last winner to actually be in this race, the last American 700 winner that is in this race is Sean Perkins, because Vincent Allen, the reigning champion, didn't qualify for this race. Very, very shocking development there, and they gave the car to DJ Curtis, who was the lead driver for Red Bull. So as it's looking like we're coming down to it, let's get down to the race, or let's get down to your full starting grid. Starting from the back to the front, we have Trek Tauger in the 23 car. He has been one of the slower cars all weekend, buying his way into the field. It's going to be a struggle, but Trek Tauger is going to try as hard as he can to get a good result today. On his inside, you have Chris Dodd in 41st position. He has been one of the faster cars all weekend, and he will be a threat, I believe, as this race goes on, coming from the back. In P40 now, we have DJ Curtis. Hasn't had the best weekend. However, DJ Curtis could be a serious threat. On his inside, you have Jake Baskinger, another car that had to buy his way into the field. Baskinger has been one of the stronger cars all weekend, just hasn't had the luck. Jake Baskinger is going to be looking for his first ARCSOA American 700 victory. On his next up on the next row, we have Jacob Hart, the final of the ride buyers, who got in via Zebulon Stark, good friend, passing over his ride. His team also needed money. Starks did in the 227 car. Jacob Hart, the one-time winner here, back in the second running of the race. And on his inside, we have Nick Percules. Nick Percules did a thrilling job getting up into the last chance qualifier, getting into the race last chance qualifier. He was supposed to start P42, but did an awesome job getting into the race. Good job by our good friend Nick Percules. He could be a threat as this race goes on. Alex Allen is going to be the next car on the grid. Alex Allen looking very, very strong as this race is, in the last chance qualifier, he could be a serious threat. On his inside, always a serious threat in the American 700, the king of Fontana himself, Sean Perkins. Perkins is looking very, very strong in a new car this year as Horizon Group didn't come back. Perkins will be a force to be reckoned with, we believe, as this race continues onward. Good luck to him. Rocco Twyman, the Australian driver, doing an awesome job at getting that car into the race. We're not expecting much from him in this race. However, it's just showing that that car got onto the grid. Great job to him. And on his inside, you have Roman Rahal. Rahal looking incredibly strong there. The young driver for Blue Flare Motorsports, one of two Blue Flares to get into the race. Good on him. Next up on the grid, we have Aaron Perkins. Wife to Sean Perkins, almost won this race back in the first running of it back in season 12. Perkins is looking pretty strong there, and on her inside you have Satuki Jacuzzer, who is going to be driving the 6 Mitsubishi car. That car was originally sold off, put up for auction to be a ride-buying car, but Jacuzzer's family bought that car out so that she could get a race. So Satuki Jacuzzer will be on the grid. Cooper Siren is going to be starting on the outside. Siren was not confident that he will qualify for the race. However, he did. And on his inside, we have our good friend, Johnson Freeman, owner of Blue Flare Motorsports in the rest in peace Kyle Collins car, got killed in an Indy car in the Indianapolis 500 a number of years back. And Johnson Freeman is going to be in the second of the Blue Flare cars. Blue Flare didn't qualify very well, but we hope for their sake that they do well in the race. On the outside of the next row up, we have Charles Sanford in the 3-car. Sanford's never had American 700 luck. He has wrecked more times than, well, we can count in the early part of the race. And on his inside, Jerry Guerrera. Always good to see Guerrera qualifying for the American 700. He only shows up for this race and maybe some other one-off races. So Guerrera is in a position where he can be a serious threat. Last year's favorite to win, didn't win, was Nathan McCain. He is going to be starting in the very undeniable position of P26. Good to see him on the grid. And kind of an underdog to get in, Matt Dalio is going to be in P25 for the 52 car. On the outside of the next row up, we have Jose Antonio Martini alongside his former car being Tanya Jackwater. That'll be an interesting battle as this race goes on. Tanya Jackwater and Martini. On the outside of the next row up, we have Allie Nelson in position 22. Nelson, one of the more aggressive drivers, hometown hero, California native. I misspoke when I said she was from Michigan last week. And on her inside, we have RL Ryusu in a very, very good position for the Tanaka Nissan Brigade. And on the next row up, we have Matt Duncan. Matt Duncan looking incredibly strong this weekend. And on P number 19, we have Andrew Cross in the Brandt 86 car. Kind of a surprise, given how fast the Durban sports have been all year. Meaning Skyla Johnson's been wiping the floor with Cross. It's kind of surprising that Cross would make it and Johnson didn't. Bobby Jones is on the next spot up in the BMW. That is a former CBM car. With a couple of updates to it. Good to see Bobby Jones in a good position on the grid. And John Martinage, the former driver, that car is actually the 111, not the 110. There were two 110s attempting this race. So, John Martinage on the grid as well. Here's one of the TRD Scandinavia cars of Christopher Grunland. Grunland is looking incredibly strong this weekend, and and the TRD Scandinavia's team has as well. And on his inside, you have Zachary Fitzwater in the 677 car. Good to see him on the grid as well. Ryan Griffin finished second in his qualifying race. His teammate, of course, won the LCQ. That car has been looking incredibly quick this weekend. He could be a serious threat. And on his inside, you have Nick Mace. Nick Mace, the Season 17 winner of this event. On his outside of the next row up, we have Q3 winner, Marcus Plawson. Plawson has been very, very strong in the TRD Scandinavia car. The third car didn't make the race. And on his inside, you've got Kyle Schock Jr., the winner of Q race number 2. On the outside of the winner of Q race number 1 in position 10 is Chris Gibson. Gibson doing an awesome job for the former Oricon team, the Walkier Brigade. Gibson will be a threat as this race goes on. And the first of the cars to make it in on speed, of course, Zebulon Stark made it in on speed, was Trevor Germain in 9th position. He was going to qualify 10th, but with Stark giving up his ride, that relegated Jacob Hart to the back of the field. Amy Shelley is going to be starting P8 on the grid. Good to see Amy Shelley on the grid. James Shelley didn't qualify, so it's a reverse thing. Amy Shelley's normally James Shelley's spotter. Well, I'm guessing James Shelley's going to be Amy's spotter for this race. And on her inside, you got Mark Holbert, one of the Canadian upstart rookie who is looking incredibly strong. One of 2 Canadians in the top 10. On the outside, we have the fastest of the one-off cars, being William Duncan in the 51 car. Duncan has been looking incredibly strong this weekend in a throwback scheme in the old Subaru car. That is a new Subaru with new parts in it. However, it is a throwback scheme on it. And on his inside, you got Jessica Shelton, top 5, qualified in the top 5. The top 5 are all regular full-time drivers. And all Porsche, row number 2 for Christian Van der Pesch and Sean Angel. Sean Angel starting 4th, Van der Pesch 3rd. It's going to be a very interesting race for them. On the outside of row number 1, we have the only Ferrari in the field. Starting in P number 2, Chris Washer. Washer is going to be a serious threat in this race as Tuomas Saarinen didn't qualify. And on the pole for the American 700, we have the myth, the legend. Some call him Ohio Winslow, Kenny Myatt on the pole. And he will be a definite threat for this race. Myatt's coming in here guns a-blazing. He wants to win this American 700, the 9th running of it. That is your starting grid for the American 700. And then we will go down to the race.